Welcome back to the channel. Today we're installing an upgraded CarPlay screen. It's an Android screen that's available for Honda Civics 10th generation. So this works whether you have the touring amp, the high-end audio system, or the stock system. You just have to let them know which one you have. Comes with a quick start manual for Civics between 2015 and 2022. And then a more in-depth manual right here, which is excellent. If you have the base model Honda Civic, then you need this harness, CB036. Our car is a Honda Civic Touring, so it has the factory amp. We'll be using this harness. This right here is the screen. It's got the buttons here on the side. You can remove the screen protector when you're done installing it, but I'm glad that they included it so we don't scratch the screen when we are putting it in the car. This is our 2016 Honda Civic Touring with the factory amp. This is not the stock screen. This is actually a joying screen. I believe it's 9-inch, and we've had a really good time with it. We've been running it for about almost 2 years now, no issues. But we are curious to see how the Dasaita compares to this, and if it's any better, we'll definitely want to run with that. First thing you want to do to get this screen out is to remove your side panel trim here. On each side, you can pry it out using the tools that they provided for you. And then once you get that out, then you'll be able to start getting at the screen here, which is just clipped on, and it's just easy as prying it off. If you need a more in-depth video, it shows how to remove all these panel trim on the side and how to get the screen off. But for now, we're just gonna go ahead and fast forward through all this and get to the part where we need to wire in the new head unit. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the important part now, which is the wiring. This is the harness that you need if you have the touring package with the factory amp. It's got 2 CAN buses here. You want to just basically plug in all the plugs that are available and are compatible with each other. And there's going to be some plugs that you just don't end up plugging in or using. Make sure you do a thorough test before you put everything back together to make sure that the things that you want working are working correctly. Start plugging in whatever's compatible. Looks like this one goes with this. And this gray one goes over here. This brown one probably goes to this one. I believe this white one connects to this. Yep. So let's go ahead and start plugging things in. The most important one is going to be this black cable. Plugs in here for power. There we go. These cables here are for your USB, and they have a brown connector that connects to this area as well. So for these audio cables, we're looking for RR and RL, and we're going to go ahead and connect to those to get audio on our touring amp. And then right here where it says cam in, that's your reverse camera. So you want to go ahead and connect your reverse camera to this. So I'm assuming this is probably your reverse camera, cam CVBS. Go ahead and plug this black cable into this port right here. This is for your antenna, for the radio. For your radio to work, you have to connect your antenna bypass. For a sedan 4-door Honda Civic, you need to remove this panel trim, which is the rear passenger seat. Pry up on this piece right here, and then you can see right here. So once you're back in here, this is where the HD radio box is. You want to bypass this by using the included cables, the green and the gray cable that they give you. So you're connecting from here to down here and skipping this box. And then lastly, we have these USB connectors here, and these have this style of connector. They're just black squares. Go ahead and hook it up to their respective spots, which is right over here. I believe it's a teal and a gray color. You just hook these over, and then you have your USB inputs. So now, before we put everything back together, go ahead and just kind of loosely set everything in and test out, make sure that it's all working properly. A little bit of a startup delay there, but it is working, which is good. Here's our Android boot screen. This is our home screen right here. So far it's very smooth in terms of how the touchscreen responds. So very impressed so far. These looks like all of our apps that you have. You have Android Auto, CarPlay, apps installers, Chrome. This one right here I believe controls your car settings. So let's check it out and see what they have. Yep, here we go. Air conditioned system settings. So this is a very familiar screen, I'm sure. And you can adjust your AC. And let's see if the knob works as well. Yep, so you can see it right there. The knob can adjust your AC. And I love that it's in Fahrenheit, because on the Joying it was always Celsius and we had a hard time figuring out how to set up or how to do the conversion from Fahrenheit and Celsius. Here it's in Fahrenheit, which is useful. If I press front, it shows that it's the windshield defrost, and the rear windshield defrost works. Next one is going to be control settings. Let's go click that and see what we have. So far, yeah, you can do all the settings that you have in your car normally, such as resetting trip A and B, interior light dimming, headlight auto off time. TPS correction would be how to reset your tire pressure when you fill up the air. You can also reset your maintenance info here, which is really useful. And let's say you did your oil change, you can just reset it here, so that's very important. Okay, so next up is to test out the backup camera. Let's see if it works. Putting it into reverse. Yep, and the reverse is working. Although it's very blurry because it's using the stock reverse camera, but you can also put an upgraded HD reverse camera if you would like. You can adjust your angle of your camera. Wow, that's an interesting angle right there. I think I'll stick with the original one, which I think is 130. This is 180 degrees. We're testing Apple CarPlay now using my wife's phone, and it is connected wirelessly and works flawless so far. It connects quickly. All you do is you just connect it through Bluetooth, and then it does the rest automatically. You don't have to do anything else. And it'll connect every time you start the car without having to do anything extra. One thing I do miss is having the knob for volume. I just wanna love you with the lights on. You got lots of things I wanna see. I just wanna love you with. Okay, so one thing I can confirm is the steering wheel controls do work for volume and also for next and previous. A little bit of a delay because it's wireless CarPlay, but when you do press next, it does go to the next song. So this app right here called Amplifier is your equalizer. So you can adjust the equalizers to get more bass, more treble, whatever you're looking for. You can tune the sound to your liking. And it's same with the subwoofers and all the loudness settings. You can even adjust the surround sound, which direction you want it to go, front or rear or side to side. When you open the door, it shows this icon, meaning that the door is open, so that's a nice touch. Another cool feature is you have apps already pre-installed like Hulu, Spotify, Netflix, Instagram, and even YouTube. There's also a settings menu right here to adjust the settings of the head unit itself, meaning if you click on, let's say, car, you can adjust the LED lights of the buttons on the side, as well as CarPlay, amplifier settings, navigation. Really, there's just so much to talk about here, and it's quite a bit, so that would be a separate video on its own. But it's there if you need it. As far as the factory code for this, 126, and then press done. And then this is where you get your advanced settings. So TPMS, you know, all these things, you want to just set it to the proper setting for your car. Right now we're not having any issues, so I'm not really going to touch these, but if you want to customize it, you can. You can even change the boot logo. Right now it's just this plain Android screen, but if you want to put any boot logo picture of your choice, go ahead and put it in through the USB memory card. So for our use case, the main reason we would want something like this is for the Apple CarPlay, and the Apple CarPlay works flawlessly, as you can see. It connects quickly, and it's very smooth and easy to use, much better than the stock screen. The screen itself is much bigger than the stock screen, much brighter, more colorful, and HD, so that is also a big plus. You can install your own apps, whatever apps you want to. You can customize the home screen however you like, including the wallpaper. And you're not losing much features from the stock. You can still reset your oil change intervals, your maintenance. You can still reset your tire pressure system, and you have the ability to play music through Bluetooth, through a USB memory card, and through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. This also has the ability to hook up HDMI, so if you want to play your PS5 and play some Fortnite on here, you definitely can do that because there is an HDMI cable in the back. I don't really see how often we would do that. I think it's more just to show it off as a feature, but it is pretty cool that you have that option to use an HDMI device on here. Overall, I'm very impressed with how much customization and how much features is packed into this head unit. It's an amazing head unit for the price. Personally, I think it's better than the Joying because it has better instructions. I think the quality of the screen and how fast it works, the sound quality, how quickly it connects to CarPlay. I feel like the Joying sometimes just doesn't connect and you have to cycle the Wi-Fi on and off, and it just takes more time. This one just works, and it works without any issues. It's reliable. It looks great. I just wish it had the knob, the volume knob. That's probably the only thing I miss from the Joying screen. Overall, I highly recommend this one, and if you want to buy one for yourself, I'll leave a link down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a good evening.